This election, Albertans have a choice between a UCP government that has lowered taxes, balanced the budget, and returned Alberta to its place as the economic powerhouse of Canada. Or we can choose to go backward with the same failed NDP policies that hiked taxes, drove out jobs and investment, and almost bankrupted our province. We can't afford to go back.
Tonight, I want to talk about a better future for Alberta, where we fix healthcare, lower household costs, and create jobs. This election is about trust, and it's about leadership.
We have to build a power grid based on it being reliable and affordable as opposed to based on ideology. We have a federal government that is propped up by the NDP that has put on war on natural gas. Our power grid here is almost 90% natural gas. And yet we have a federal government that wants us to be able to be completely abated on natural gas by 2035. That is the commitment that Ms. Notley has signed on to.
A lot of Albertans aren't aware that in the pre-election period, the UCP put a cap on what folks are paying for their electricity just for the last 4 months. What they don't know is that, in fact, come June, they're going to have to pay that back. And that's going to cost about half of Alberta families about $200 million. What we know is that there is roughly $16 trillion of international investment floating around out there looking to invest in renewable energy.
Well, I know Ms. Notley says she believes in science and she believes in experts, but somehow the experts at the Alberta electric system operator she wants to discredit. But you notice that she didn't disavow the 2035 target for net zero, even though the Saskatchewan NDP did. Saskatchewan NDP voted with Premier Scott Moe saying it is unachievable. If we want to have a realistic plan, a practical plan, we have to fight back against Ottawa. This candidate will not. We have to fight back against Ottawa and make sure that we put a target that's reasonable, realistic, and achievable, and that's carbon neutrality by 2050.
You want to fight with Ottawa. You want to fight with the media. You want to fight, frankly, with your former self. It's actually quite exhausting. Here's what I need Albertans to know. I will always stand up for Alberta. I will always stand up for the interests of Albertans. I did that when I was Premier. I made sure we got a pipeline to Tidewater, the first one in 50 years. I did that standing up against the BC government. I did it standing up with a federal government, and that's my record, and that will also be my blueprint.
So beyond dollars spent, what are your creative and transformative approaches to restoring confidence in the system for Albertans? And Ms. Smith, we'll let you have the first crack at that question.
When I first got elected, I was being told that the AHS system was on the brink of collapse. You had unions saying that we needed to go back to mandates and start masking kids in school. And I said, absolutely not. We are not going back to that. If the problem is AHS, then let's fix AHS. So we talked to doctors and nurses and paramedics on the front line. We listened to them and we implemented their ideas. And guess what? It's working. Hospital wait times are down. EMS response times are down. We've effectively ended red alerts for EMS in both of our major cities. Ambulances in rural are staying in rural, and we're reducing surgical wait times.
There is a problem. We've put forward a reasonable, practical solution. The answer is to get more Albertans access to a family doctor. By doing that, with our costed plan, we can take the pressure off of our emergency rooms, off of our surgical wait times, off of our ambulances, and we can also make sure that nobody ever, ever, ever has to pay to see a family doctor.
We have more health professionals today than we did when Ms. Notley left office. 8,500 more, in fact, including 700 more doctors. And in April, our plan to recognize credentials is working. We had 1,400 nurses who are now licensed and able to practice in Alberta, more than any time in the previous 3 years.
Your numbers around job losses, I think we need to kind of talk a little bit about that, Danielle. Many, many experts have reviewed that, and they've said they're absolutely ridiculous. In fact, at the end of our term, we had, after a very difficult recession, we came out about 45,000 jobs ahead.
These kinds of policies end up chasing away investment, and it costs average taxpayers, and it costs average citizens the most. Ms. Notley won't agree to that, and it's the reason for that is she wants to increase corporate taxes, which are going to, once again, chase out investment, just like it did last time.
Alex says, please tell us one specific policy your opponent has put forward that you agree with. And why?
Very early on in the UCP mandate, it was under the former Premier Jason Kenney, they introduced the Alberta Indigenous Opportunities Corporation as a means to expand Indigenous participation in our economy. We like it. We're going to expand it. Another one was they expanded funding of the film and TV tax credit. And that was a good idea. It's brought more excitement into our industry. We will absolutely maintain that.
I'm very proud of both of the initiatives that Ms. Notley mentioned. The Indigenous Opportunities Corporation has been so successful, I think, in addressing true economic reconciliation. And the film and TV tax credit brought The Last of Us here, which I think all of us feel pretty excited when we watch that on the big screen.
We are now going to head to our closing remarks. Each leader will have 90 seconds.
I first want to say how much of an honor it's been to be your premier for these last 7 months. I've been overwhelmed by the generosity and kindness of Albertans that I meet every single day. These last 3 years have been difficult for all of us. And now the wildfires are testing our resolve as a people once more. But I know that together we will overcome every challenge we face, whether it's a pandemic, a flood, fire, or economic headwinds. We will take care of one another, and we will move our province forward to a better future. My commitment to each of you, if re-elected, is to serve you with everything I have and to the best of my ability, however imperfect that may be at times. I will continue to focus on growing and diversifying our amazing economy, making life more affordable and our communities safer, and improving healthcare for all Albertans. And I will carefully listen to you and my UCP caucus, because whatever I may have said or thought in the past while I was on talk radio, Albertans are my bosses now, and my oath is to serve you and no one else. I love this province and everything it stands for. We are a land of entrepreneurs and innovators, of pioneers and farmers, of families and communities, a place where the best and brightest come from every corner of the world to join us in building one of the greatest places on earth to live and work and raise a family. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Tonight, ask yourself, who do you trust to build a better future? Who will focus on the things that actually matter to you? Now, Ms. Smith has spent her entire career campaigning for Albertans to pay out of pocket for basic health care. She's also campaigned to pull Alberta out of the Canada Pension Plan, something that would create huge instability in your retirement. Today, she was found to have broken the law by interfering with our justice system. This is just not how our province should be run. Every day is a new drama. You just don't need to put up with this. Enough is enough. So my offer to you is stable, predictable, thoughtful leadership that you can count on. It's time to get back to the things that matter to people. I will make life more affordable, capping car insurance and lowering your utilities. I will support our entrepreneurial spirit by cutting to zero small business taxes and creating more jobs. And because I'm passionate about making sure your family has healthcare that you always need without paying for it, I have a balanced, costed plan to make sure you get a family doctor. So that is a better future for Alberta. Now, you may not always agree with me, and I may not have always gotten it right, but I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. If I am premier again, I will work daily to earn your trust and to focus on your priorities.
You can become a Western Standard member for just $10 a month or $99 a year for unlimited access.